Now, the rest of the story.
As I'm walking back to get more equipment, moving farms, largely just because I got the time, and it just quit on me. Wanted you guys to see the old school windmill that's alongside one of our places. And I don't know how they all work and everything else, but it was doing its slow, steady rotation, and it just upped and clicked and stopped. But growing up, you guys have seen the lot at home at Rockville at the home farm. You know, you pull into the driveway up past the bins and it's all gravel. It's a big gravel lot. For those of you that may have made it to the farm day years ago at this point, you would have noticed that, yeah, we had a nice big open gravel lot. All things considered, that hasn't been there very long. In the center of that lot, as you come in the driveway, you can see it actually humps a little bit. Well, that's where the windmill used to stand, and the old, was it cistern? It was a big square hunk of concrete. And granted, maybe I should just have Dad talk about this because he can remember it better than I can in regards to what it was all used for. But by that, growing up, was one of those old windmills. Granted, not in near as good a shape as that one is. But that's one of the noises that you associate with your childhood. I know we as humans, we all have different sights and smells and sounds that we associate with different parts of our past. I mean, for me, for example, is the dairy manure. That reminds me of milking cows any day of the week. And one of the sounds that I recollect from, well, way deep down in my memory banks, is the sound of that old windmill before Dad knocked the actual arm piece off of it, was the sound of that wheel going around and around, and every time it made a rotation, it made a subtle squeak. And I can't describe it. I can't explain it in enough words, or maybe not the right words. But that is, well, one of the memories that brings me back to probably peak Grandma. Back before Grandma started going bad, or getting bad, or her health started to decline. So it's, I don't know, I wish I could describe it, but I can't. But the farms have changed a lot over the years, largely for the better. My honest opinion is definitely, most definitely for the better. I mean, everyone's definitely happier. The immediate family, of course. But one thing I've started to do here lately is I use my four-wheeler to hop between farm to farm. And by hopping between farms, I mean, it used to be kind of taboo growing up. You never were, you very seldom took the four-wheeler down the road, ever, because it was very much bad. You could get in trouble, the cops would pull you over. Anymore now, you just own it. Just drive. I've never been pulled over by the cops in the four-wheeler before. My mom has. That was just because she was covered in red paint. And you guys can put two and two together as to, driving down the road when you are completely covered in red paint, because she was painting a barn at one of the other farms, and she passed a cop. That cop had some questions for her. So the last of my dad's beans are done, and what we're doing is literally just hopping between farms. And on the days like right now where it's just me, even when all three of us are here, to be honest with you, it's nice having the four-wheeler available just in case I need it. Because even though at this point in time I'm about 10 miles away from home, but I've been 15, 20 miles away from home in the side-by-side and the four-wheeler before, and people just don't look at you anymore because it's legal. They don't mind that you're on the road. I mean, it's probably good that you're registered, but for the most part, it might seem kind of odd for most people because some guys probably do it. But I've read online before, what do you use to get between farms, especially if you're a single man operation or if you have multiple pieces of equipment and limited people, what do you do? Well, you hear anywhere from you walk to a bicycle that you throw in the back of the tractor, you hang off the front of the tractor, the combine, wherever you do, or then like this, four-wheeler, dirt bike, different things like that if you don't have somebody that can actively take you from place to place. And having the four-wheeler, like this one in particular, I can go about 55 miles an hour. I can get back to the home farm in what, 15 minutes, 20 minutes if I'm not pushing it. So I went to school with the guy, Big Mikey. I know he doesn't watch the channel. I don't think anybody I actually associated with in the past watches my channel. But we went to college together, and that's what he said. He was basically on the Iowa-Nebraska border, and he had a sport four-wheeler. What's the sport quad? I mean, it got up and went, and Mikey was probably pushing 300 pounds, but he said that that's irrelevant, his size. I didn't need to say that. But he said that what he would do is that sport quad, he could tilt it back up on end, like not dealing with ramps, just tilt it back on end, and then he says it was light enough that he could actually pick up on the back rack and then just slide it in the back of his truck. Same thing with dumping it out. I mean, outside of putting the truck in reverse and slamming on the brakes, which I don't think he did that too much, but you don't really consider side-by-sides and four-wheelers. Growing up, you certainly didn't consider that, it seemed, to get around. It was always somebody had to come get you in a truck or a car. And for me, it doesn't bother me. I'm moving them between farms, and like right now, I had to make a special trip over here just to get the four-wheeler, but I had time to do it. And I never know. I don't have a truck readily available. I at least know I can jump in the four-wheeler and head home. But I'm going to get back to harvesting. I just figured you guys would, well, I just wanted to show you guys the windmill for the most part. But thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Take it easy. Keep in touch. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more rest of the story videos. I'll catch you guys on the next one.